The reason why you're watching this video is we need help to maintain and save this building for the artists and keep it from being developed by a developing group who will turn it into high-end lofts and condos. We think that it's more important for the city for this building to be an artist-run and artist-occupied building. And we think that the existence of buildings and space such as these that lend themselves to artists developing their art and craft and existing within the city limits is important to the development of the city and the culture and the personality of a city. If we don't support spaces like this for artists to use and to develop their art in, then we're killing a little bit of what makes the city great.
My name is James. I live at 111 Summer Street. I've been living here for about 3 years now, and I'm a musician, composer, I also teach piano. It's crucial really, because without places like this and spaces like this, the music, the art, the work that people do just simply wouldn't be possible. Well, in the past couple of years I've formed a group that's called the Providence Research Ensemble that mostly plays through composed music that I write. And we practice here. It's sometimes a group upwards of 10 players, anywhere from 5, 6, 7, 8 more, and strings and multiple keyboards. And that requires a lot of physical space to have that many instruments and people bowing and moving around with stands and everything else. And it's wonderful to be able to do it here. Unfortunately, it's music that's fairly quiet, not too abrasive for my neighbors. I'm very excited. I'll be an artist fellow at the RISD Museum this coming year. Yeah, I think everyone living and working here is really doing good work, and it's great that in any way it could be encouraged. It's really for the best.
My name is Tucker. I've lived here for 15 years at 109 Summer Street, and I do the maintenance and caretaker of the building. You know, there's some artists, there's a couple girls upstairs who are artists, and there's another woman on the top floor, and she's a painter. A room full of blues used to practice here at one time in Benita's spot. We've had Tish Adams downstairs singing, and then we have Rick with all his music. It was a welcoming sight years ago when heat was very sketchy here, and you'd come around the block and you'd see a little steam coming out of the smokestack, and you realize, yes, the heat is on. It was made in a day when fuel was probably 19 cents a gallon, so they would just run it, and they didn't care about how hot the building got or how cold the building got. And we need places here because we need the affordable rent to do artwork here. And, you know, it shouldn't be a greed thing, it should be a cultural thing. And that every town needs a cultural thing.
Hi, I'm Jubilee. I live at Studio Blue, 111 Summer Street for almost a year now. And I'm a musician as well as an installation technician. I really love living here. There's a lot of wonderful creative people here and great opportunities to collaborate and make a lot of beautiful music happen. I think living community helps, you know, to eliminate some selfishness and just fosters the idea of helping other people and knowing that we all need help sometimes. And it feels good to help people. It feels good to be helped.
Hi, my name is Matt Lakaya. I am the owner-operator of Safari Modeling Casting, and we've been at 111 Summer Street for just about a year. We work with designers and casting for TV shows. The place is very accessible, and it's a one-stop shop if we're doing video or a commercial or anything. Once a week, we work with local models and people that want to get into modeling. The age group usually runs from about 12 years old up until about 35. We can do commercials. You know, you have the video production here, so we don't have to go anywhere. Yeah, we can use the same equipment, and expansion would be great.
The space has become a hub for creativity and people, you know, productive people working within the community. over the years. Some great artists have occupied this building and space, and currently do, and in the future we hope that it just builds and continues to be that. The people that do have the ability to be creative and affect the world in a positive way with their ideas, it's important that those people have a space to do it in.
My name is Nicole Cooney. I have been at Summer Street for 2 years now, and I work at Studio Blue. I am an artist, a performer, musician, teacher, and a mother. Summer Street is one of my absolute favorite places in the whole world, and I lived in New York and was part of the art scene there for 7 years. And what I love about Providence is it has everything, all the culture that New York has, but it's just smaller and closer knit. And Summer Street, it just epitomizes that amazing community connection. There's no place I've been to in Providence that has this feel, and it has that freedom. That it's obviously just an amazing, brilliant space for musicians, artists, filmmakers, all of the great characters of Providence to hang out and do their work. And there's also just this great sense of like family, community here, and I think that's my favorite part.
Jerry Julio, 109 Summer Street. I love the place. It allows you to be who you are, and it gets your creative juices going. People our age, they already know about Summer Street. Summer Street has been discovered, 10 years the art class has been here. So portrait class on Monday nights and life drawings on Wednesday nights.
This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, right?
This is where the magic
This
happens.
place is magical. I'm not kidding. It's magical here. This place needs to be preserved because this is where the magic happens.
It gets really expensive to rent. I remember paying $100 a month for rent, and my electric was $16 a month. What ends up happening is you're working to pay your bills, and when you come home, you're exhausted. Who wants to do artwork? You worked all day just to cover your bills. I think it'll be just another vacant building with condos available to rent, and no one here to rent them. And the rents are so high, only football and baseball players can afford it.
I'm Galen Anderson. I live at Studio Blue, and I work at Durkee Brown, Viveris, and Werenfels Architects in the Drury District. The city of Providence is prepared to spend hundreds of millions of dollars in the redevelopment of the 195 land that has recently become vacated. This is only half a mile away from the Haskins building here. As an extension of Friendship Street, we're only 2 blocks away from what will become a main corridor through the city of new development. So we should not waste this opportunity to take this one small building that stands alone and transform it into something that it's already doing, but can do so much better with your support.
If you understand what we're trying to do and appreciate that the city has a personality and a culture that is unique and progressive, then I think that this is really important for you to know about, and we should really work together to try to figure out how to maintain places like this instead of sitting by while they get bought up and turned into empty shells of what they once were.
My name is Ali Amerigan. I work on major motion pictures throughout New England. I would love to see more films come to Rhode Island, and I think a major production facility here in Providence would help make that happen. I've worked on a number of different projects. I worked on an HBO miniseries called Olive Kitteridge, starring Bill Murray and Frances McDormand. I worked on a film that's in theaters right now. It's called Spotlight. It starred Michael Keaton and Mark Ruffalo. I just completed an action horror movie. It's called The Purge 3. It's Blumhouse Productions and Universal Studios. There are a couple films that are coming to town. One, I'm not allowed to give a lot of details, but it's a Jim Carrey film. There's a couple low-budget, $500,000 to $1 million movies that are looking at Rhode Island. Turning a building like this into a full-fledged production facility would more than benefit the state. When a movie comes into the area, they spend a lot of money, and a lot of them need editing suites, a lot of them need sound stages, or they need some sort of production house. The thing with Rhode Island is we have a great tax incentive, which attracts a lot of movies, but when a film comes to Rhode Island, they want to know what sort of support facilities we have that can support a film. So when they come to Rhode Island, they say, well, is there a sound stage? Is there a studio? What kind of facilities do you have in Rhode Island that are geared towards filming? And there really aren't any. There's a couple rundown facilities that we use from time to time that we need to sort of reinvigorate every time we want to use them because they're more or less vacant. But there really isn't a working production facility in Rhode Island, and that is something, coming from someone in the film industry, that is something that we desperately need in the state to attract business and to attract projects to come here and spend their money. I would love to see Studio Blue have the resources to be able to expand into a full-fledged production house. This is something that I think we desperately need, and we would appreciate your help.
My name is Shenge. I live at 109 Summer Street. I'm part of Studio Blue. I've been living here for 2.5 years, and we are here exploiting the possibility of turning this place into a studio village for musicians, artists, everybody who has something to say and something to do concerning art. We have neighbors upstairs who do piano playing and acting. Even a while ago, we were being disturbed by a trumpet player upstairs. And that is what we do, and that is what we hear. This is the community for this kind of encouragement in Rhode Island at this time, right now. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your reverence. We wish you well.
My name is Prudence. I'm 6 years old. I'm 6 years old, and I live on Summer Street. And I love this place. Bye-bye.